Now, many top voices in the Democratic Party quickly followed President Biden's lead and have echoed his endorsement of Vice President Harris. That includes the Congressional Black Caucus, all 50 Democratic Party state chairs, this according to reporting by Reuters, Bill and Hillary Clinton, plus dozens of Democratic lawmakers and governors, including California's Adam Schiff and Gavin Newsom. But there are also some major names that have not made any public endorsement, notably former President Barack Obama, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, and former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who has previously voiced support for an open nomination process.
Another big support system Harris has, black women. After Biden dropped out, the network Win with Black Women held a Zoom meeting to rally support for Vice President Harris as she seeks the Democratic nomination. At one point, 40,000 people were on that call. They also raised over $1 million for Harris's campaign. National political correspondent Stephanie Liebergen is joining us now from the White House with more on VP Harris as she seeks the Democratic nomination. And yesterday, Stephanie, we spoke, and in her statement, she said that she is ready to work for and win the nomination, knowing that it won't necessarily happen with a snap of the fingers.
Hey, Alex, good morning. That's exactly right. She said in her statement she is ready to earn and win this nomination. And I think in the phone call she was making yesterday, 100 phone calls to members of Congress, to other Democrats and leaders across the country, civil rights groups, labor groups, trying to get support behind her as quickly as she could. But for some people, they might not really know who Vice President Harris is yet. She's, of course, a well-known name in D.C., but if you weren't a Democratic voter maybe in 2020 when she was in the primary, you might not know much about her. And she's going to need to get independents and potentially moderate Republicans on her side if she does indeed lead the ticket and if she wants to beat former President Trump in November. So let's go a little bit through her background. She graduated from Howard University, 1986, went on to law school at the University of California, did that in San Francisco, then continued to jump into the legal side in San Francisco. She was the DA there, then she became the Attorney General of the state of California. From there, she did that jump into politics, of course, becoming a member of the U.S. Senate in 2016 and then being tapped to be President Biden's running mate in 2020. Well, you all were mentioning some of the people who have come out and publicly endorsed Harris as the new leader of the ticket. We also know there has been a huge swirl of fundraising coming into the Democratic Party. Nearly $50 million raised in about the first 16, 18 hours or so. Act Blue, the nonpartisan fundraising arm for the Democratic Party, said the groundswell in donations for Harris yesterday made yesterday the biggest single day in this entire election cycle. While all of these people are putting their support behind Harris, nothing is official yet. She doesn't have any challengers who say they really want to challenge her for the nomination, but the DNC needs to come up with a process, needs to set out the rules on how exactly Harris will replace Biden on the top of the ticket. And if there's going to be what that process will look like in terms of getting support from delegates. We've already know at least a handful of states have announced that all of their delegates have voted and have put their support behind Harris, but that is, this vocal swell of support doesn't make it official. There's still a process that needs to happen. We're expecting a DNC Rules Committee meeting on Wednesday, and hopefully we'll learn a little bit more. The DNC has promised transparency and an open process as they make this big change. But today here at the White House at 11:30, the Vice President is scheduled to make remarks. The remarks are scheduled to be about the championship NCAA teams, but this is going to be the first time the Vice President will be in front of the cameras. Will be speaking on the record since the president dropped out. So all eyes will be on her to see if she addresses the 2024 campaign in any way. Again, 11:30 a.m. Eastern time when we're scheduled to see the vice president.